I'm starting a business, but it's a secret. I'll tell you all about it, but first, let's go check on my pony. Quick Tractor Supply pit stop for alfalfa pellets, duct tape, wormer, and a hay net. Anyone else's horse just eat holes in their hay net? Want to take bets on how long it's going to take him to eat through this? Probably not very long. All right, let's talk secret business. I started a company when I was a teenager with a friend of mine, and we sold pillows and saddle blankets and bonnets. It was super fun, but we stopped because neither of us had the time to continue with the company. And now I'm going to relaunch the business as an equestrian clothing brand. I do not like riding leggings. I want to ride in breeches, and I don't want to cut my leg off to pay for a pair of riding breeches. So the reason that I say my business is a secret is because I'm currently in what I would call the pre-launch phase, the planning phase before I launch the business. And I think all of the information that I'm about to share will be really helpful to anybody who has a small business or who plans on launching one in the future, or who wants to run maybe their Instagram account more like a business. These are all things that you should know and you should have set up if you plan on making money as an equestrian. So the first thing that I worked on was my brand book, or my brand guide. And that's just gonna be the rules and guidelines for your brand. So I'll give you some examples. First, logo. You want to have a logo. You want to have a full logo, and then elements of that logo that you can put places so that people will still identify that with your brand, but you don't have to put your full, big name logo on a product. And then you want to have fonts. Something that I've used before and that I think is a really helpful tool would be Canva for this. And it's really easy to use. I would rather use that than Photoshop. It's easier. I have Photoshop, but it's easier for me to use. Colors, brand colors. You could go into color theory, or you could just pick colors that you think are pretty and go well together. A really helpful tool for this one is Coolors. I'll put it on the screen, where you can generate color palettes. Dawn is messing up my video. Technical difficulties. And then inspiration to capture the feeling that you want your brand to have. So I would go on Pinterest, on Google Images, the people that are going to purchase your products, the people that are going to be your customers that you're serving. What do they do? What do they like? What feeling do you want them to have when they come to your profile? And then social media layout is another thing that I added here. How many product photos do I want to have? How many graphics? What layout do I want my posts to be in? How often do I need to hire a photographer, or how often am I gonna need photos? And then your tone when communicating with your audience is really important, that it stays consistent. Are you gonna be silly and making jokes? Are you gonna be, educational and wise? There's so many different ways that you can portray yourself as a brand, and I think that's really important to decide that before you launch your company. The next important thing that I think you need to know is your target audience. Who are you targeting with your company? Who are you trying to help? What do they need? And how are you going to uniquely help them? And that plays into your mission statement and your beliefs as a brand. Why are you different? How are you different? An example of one of the beliefs of my brand will be that you shouldn't have to spend $100, $200 on a pair of pants that you're going to get sweaty and dirty and hairy and covered in hay. All right, this one's really complicated. The legal side of things. I think it's really important to have a solid legal foundation for your business. And this can be really complicated, but it is so important to get set up before you start your business. So I'm gonna go through a bunch of points that I think you should research and look into. So the first one would be to register your LLC with the state. And then you need to protect your intellectual property, your brand. So register your domain, file any copyrights, trademarks, or patents that you need so that you own the rights to the things that you're creating. Another important point, you need to know if there are regulations that you need to comply with, if you need licenses, permits, if you need liability insurance, especially if you're working with horses. All of those things are really important to protect you and your company, as well as contracts, like a privacy policy for your website or a sales contract. That's really complicated and it hurts my brain, and I don't want to do it right now, so we're gonna put it off. And let's look at the brand guide that I just sent to my graphic designer for her to know what my brand is so that she can create me a logo. Alrighty, let's get a screen recording going so you can see. Here is my brand book for my graphic designer. So first here we have inspiration imagery. These are all pictures, you know, kind of what I want the brand to feel like. Lots of love to the horse, very chic, you know, matching colors. And then we have colors below. These, as you can see, are generated with Coolors. So I just uploaded these pictures right here. So this one I uploaded to Coolors, and these are the colors that it spit out. And then the logos that I love. So these are all logos of popular brands. And then I think these two are just business card examples. But these are logos that I like for her to pull some inspiration from. And then logo in action, places that I want to see my logo. So, you know, on the buttons of pants, on zipper pulls, on a polo, on the back of a shirt. So that's just information that I sent off to my graphic designer so that she knows kind of the feel that I'm going for so that she can create what I want in my logo. I got these containers off Amazon. Technically they're for food prep, but they work great. Magnesium and salt because it's boiling in Texas. And then herbs, if I can get them to fit. I have a trace mineral supplement, dandelion, comfrey, nettle, and rose hips. All done, time to go feed the pony. Hi, pony. Hello. Just checking on the pony before I leave. I'm headed out of town. This weekend I'll be making some money with horses in a very interesting way, but that's next week's video.